Welcome along to another video. I am That Cycling Chimp, and in this one it's a bit dangerous to go out for an adventure today in Scotland, so I thought we'd come down to the Pain Cave, dive in and talk a little bit about clipless pedals. I think they're a game-changing cycling accessory that's elevated my cycling performance and riding experience and that of thousands of cyclists across the world. So if you want to know a little bit more, stick around, grab a tasty beverage, kick back and relax, and let's get on with the show. Oh, and if this is the first time you've came across my channel, feel free to hit that subscribe button. First off, many of you guys will probably not know what clipless pedals are. So to understand them, these are specialist pedals that, despite their name, actually involve the cyclist clipping in. Unlike traditional flat pedals, they actually secure specialist cycling shoes with a cleat in the sole, and this provides a direct connection with the cyclist's foot and the bike itself, becoming one unit. It helps translate power and efficiency in each pedal stroke. But before we delve in any further into why cyclists like myself love and use them, I'm going to give you a brief history on the clipless pedal design. The history of the clipless pedal design is quite an interesting one, but we have to jump in the DeLorean and go all the way back to the late 1800s. This is when early cyclists used toe clips and leather straps to attach their feet to the bike. And while this provided some degree of efficiency, it also posed the challenges of engaging and disengaging their feet from the bike. Inventors at the time then experimented with a clipless pedal design, and Charles Hansen invented and patented the first clipless pedal in 1895. This would aim to eliminate the need for the clips and the straps, but the designs were far too clunky and nobody really adopted to them. That said, you can still get toe clips and straps to this day. My first road bike came with them, but I personally think they're like death traps and I wouldn't advise anybody to use them. But again, it's all down to personal preference. If we then fast forward nearly 100 years to the late 1970s, Cinelli brought out the M71 pedal. This was also known as the death pedal. Some claimed it was far too dangerous to use and it was just unpractical. The only positive note is this then reignited an interest in a clipless pedal design again. In 1984, the French cycling company Look brought out their first pedal, which was inspired by downhill skiers, to the market. And exactly 1 year later, in 1985, this enabled the French cyclist Bernard the Badger Hinault, no, not that Badger, this one, to win the Tour de France. This then brought the pedal into the spotlight. But by the end of the decade, which would be the late 80s, the Japanese cycling giant Shimano come out with the SPD system. SPD stands for the Shimano Pedaling Dynamic System, and that's the one I use. Unlike previous designs, the Shimano SPD featured a recessed cleat, which was easier to walk around in. Even though the sole is dirty, here is an example of the recessed cleat. This opened the gateway to the clipless pedal system we all know and love today. But since the 1990s, manufacturers have continued to evolve and innovate designs. Different styles have came out for different disciplines like road cycling, mountain biking and commuting, to name some. Cleat designs have also evolved and now they're a lot more comfortable to wear, performance is a lot better and they're very easy to use. So now that that's the history lesson out of the way, why do modern cyclists like myself absolutely love these pedals and think they're so great? Well, it's the power of efficient pedalling. The power and efficient gains we get from the clipless system is second to none. As I've said, you need to pair them with specialist cycling shoes so that they work seamlessly together, but they're very practical and it enhances the cyclist's experience to a more fluid and powerful pedal stroke. Utilising both the up and down motion, it not only increases your speed, I have noticed small marginal gains, and it also reduces my fatigue in my longer endurance rides. Another reason is precision control and stability. Control is key, and when it comes down to the clipless pedals, this is where it shines. The secure connection between your shoe and your pedals enhances your cycling stability, especially during sprints, climbs and technical manoeuvres. The precision control will not only boost your confidence on your bike, but it does make you feel a lot safer, and it helps cyclists like myself push our limits to the max. But you're probably sitting there thinking to yourself, if you're actually attached to the bike, are these pedals not dangerous or very hard to use? Dangerous? No. Hard to use? Well, clipping in and clipping out has got its learning curve, I will say that. But with the modern clipless system, it's a breeze now compared to what it was years ago. With a simple twist of the foot, you're securely locked into the bike, and releasing your foot is just as effortless. You can actually adjust the spring tension within the pedal to make it looser so that it's a lot easier to clip out and clip in. This is also known as the pedal's float. And with that quick response, clipping in and out is very good in unpredictable situations whether it be on the road or on the trail. But just a quick note on safety. Clipless pedals, when they're used correctly, are generally safe. However, it is crucial for all riders to be aware of potential risks, their surroundings, and should always follow safety guidelines. You should always practice using them first in traffic-free areas, like your local park, for example. As I said, you can adjust the spring tension so it's a lot easier to clip in and out. I've got mine set to the lowest setting for this reason. You need to practice emergency releases in quieter areas for various scenarios, and it is essential for your safety. Another top tip I can give you is, when I was practicing, I done it in my local park on grass. I was able to hold on to something to get used to the clipping in and clipping out motion. And the reason I done it on grass was because you will spill a couple of times on the bike. This has happened to me countless times, and usually in embarrassing situations. This is all part of the learning curve. The only thing I can compare it to is like stalling your car at a junction. But this is all different strokes for different folks. Whether you're a road cyclist, gravel king, mountain biker or commuter, clipless pedals come in various variations and styles. Pedals can be lightweight carbon speed demons to bomb-proof rugged designs for your off-road adventures. And when they're paired up with shoes, boots or even sandals, yuck. There is a shoe out there for every type of rider. I'm currently using the Shimano SPD M520s. And the reason I use these pedals are, they're easy to use, set up and maintain, and they're pretty cheap. The cleats I'm using, the Shimano SH56s. These are a multi-directional cleat, and they're slightly different from the Shimano SH51s, which is only one direction, and it's not the band I'm talking about here. They pretty much look the exact same in design, but long story short, because they're multi-directional, I can twist my foot anyway and get out of my pedal quickly if there's an unpredictable situation I need to get out of. So the SH56 cleats, I can move any way to get in, but with the SH51 you've got to twist one way to release your foot. That's the difference between the two, if that helps. With that pedal that I use, it's the perfect match for me, and it's great for a gateway for anybody wanting to try out clipless pedals, because they are relatively cheap and easy to obtain. There are also different manufacturers out there. I've already mentioned Look and Shimano, but you've also got DMR, Crank Brothers, Nuke Proof, to name a few. Most of them are cross-compatible with cleats, but you always need to have a look on their website to see compatibility. I just use Shimano products because it's personal preference for me, and as I've said in previous videos, I've usually got Shimano components on my bike. What I will do is, I'll leave a link below which has got an extensive list of all the pedal manufacturers and actual pedals that's on the market at the moment. It's a useful tool if you're wanting to delve in a bit further. For my shoes, I'm currently using Physic shoes. Now, I'm not sponsored or affiliated in any way with Physic, but I do find they're a great fit for my wide chimp feet. In the off season, I'm using the Physic Terra Climate X2, which is a weatherproof shoe. I'm actually looking at the Physic Terra Arctica X2, which is kind of the same with insulation, because Scottish winters are cold and I have been getting a lot of cold feet recently. And in the summer, I opt for the Physic Terra Atlas. Now, this is actually a gravel shoe. I think this is an absolutely great shoe because it's very lightweight and very versatile. And as you can see with the recessed cleat, I can walk about with these. So it's quite good for the trails as well. Talking about the recessed cleats, you do have to set these up. Now, your local bike shop or your bike fit guru can help, but there is a lot of tutorials online to help you out with this. For me, my fit was trial and error, but now I know I'm in a good place. And you will know when your cleats are not in position or location right, because you'll actually feel pain under your kneecap, or you'll just feel uncomfortable when riding. Also, on a quick side note on the pedals and the shoes I wear, they're actually more for mountain biking and gravel. Road cycling users use a slightly different system, which is the SPD SL, and the SL stands for super light. These are one-sided pedals opposed to the dual-sided ones that I use. They also use a 3-bolt cleat system opposed to the 2-bolt cleat system for the SPD. The road cleats are typically a lot wider and flatter, and they're a lot harder to walk in, and the sole mounts are slightly different also. But because it's a slightly different system, clipping in and out looks more of an art form, but the principles are exactly the same. If you're ever at a set of traffic lights and you see road cyclists there, unless they're track standing, have a wee look and see how they actually clip in. I don't have a road cycling pedal to show you, but what they have to do is they have to kind of slide their foot forward to click in. I wouldn't advise this system for any casual or mountain bike riders, because we just mash down and hope for the best to get in. Again, it's personal preference, and I'm not knocking the road cycling community when I say this, but you can usually tell a road cyclist when they come into the cafe because they sound like a tap dancer. So in conclusion, the combination of clipless pedals and cycling shoes are game changing for any cyclist, especially if they're looking to elevate their performance like myself. The increased control, power, safety and efficiency make for a more enjoyable, comfortable, safer and satisfying ride. I was dubious at first when I changed over to the clipless pedal system, but now I'm used to it. I would never ride without them now. So if you haven't made the switch yet, or you're maybe thinking about it, it might just be the right time to clip in and revolutionise your ride. Well, that's us got to the end of another video. I'd just like to thank you all for sticking around and watching today. I hope you've learned something as I did when I was researching and making this video. If you did like it, give us a huge thumbs up. And if you really liked it, smash that subscribe button. Your subscribing keeps me and the channel riding, and I appreciate every single time that subscribe button is hit. Let me know in the comments below about your experiences with clipless pedals, whether you like them or dislike them, or any stories. And feel free to ask any questions if you're not too sure. I hope to see you all in the next one, but in the meantime, you can check out my last video about cycling winter tips here, or you can check out previously on that cycling chimp, which are older videos down below. Until the next time guys, bye for now, and remember, you are all chimply the best.